Hello! So we focused a lot on Mars and Venus and Virgo the last couple days, and we now have Venus in Virgo. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check out the info for the last couple days to make the most of that, especially the 9-minute stellium video that I made yesterday, I guess. Something that we haven't really focused on lately is Mercury in Leo, which is so funny because it can be such a blind spot mentally in so many different ways. There's so many beautiful gifts with that, of creative potential, of being able to express ourselves and to understand ourselves and to understand our hearts and what motivates us in life and what we're passionate about and what we can create. And again, whether we're an artist by trade or not, this is a wonderful creative energy. We all create, as I always say, the art of living. We're all artists in that sense. We all have our own unique brushstrokes. But the challenge, and this is really good to keep in mind, is to make sure that we're staying. I don't know if you can hear my dog in the background. He's so excited. Anyways, the challenge is to make sure that we're keeping in mind that the challenge is that we have to keep in mind the challenge of Mercury in Leo can be really difficult to see past one's own mind. I just experienced this last day, and probably one of the best ways to be able to understand what's going on in our mind and to understand our blind spots, which this energy can be can tend to manifest. One of the best ways to deal with this is by talking out loud with a trusted friend, somebody that understands you and understands where you're coming from, and who allows you to think things out loud. This isn't necessarily the most, actually this is a very challenged energy when it comes to thinking logically, and to think with clarity, and again to think past one's own perspective. And that's the thing about abstract thinking, is we're very able as human beings, especially if we have certain air placements and whatnot, to think from a different person's perspective. That's why I do what I do, because I have Mercury and Gemini in the house of Aquarius. That's what I love to do, is help people and try and figure out, okay, well, what's going on? Like, let me get inside your mind in a good consensual way and understand, like, how can I help? Mercury and Leo can be a little bit tough with that, because again, there's no such thing as a good or a bad energy. The beautiful part of that is Mercury and Leo, more so than any of the Mercury energies, there's only two, of the two Mercury energies that I have, or that any people has. Mercury and Leo is an incredibly heartfelt energy, an incredibly creative energy. There have been so many amazing artists with this energy, and even if you're not, again, an artist by trade with this energy natally, it's such a powerfully expressive, just energy, and it's beautiful. The challenge, again, is to make sure that we're not getting too caught up in blind spots and not communicating. And again, last night I talked with my friend, who I usually talk with, and talking with her helped me to understand certain blind spots that I was having, and communication all across the board, really. And what I needed to say, and just things that I realized, as I said to her, there were certain things that I had already come to a conclusion to in my own mind. I'd figured out information that was sitting here that I wasn't expressing, and that needed to be expressed for certain points of harmony to occur between me and my friends and my bandmates. And promptly after realizing it, and that's the beauty of this current energy, this transiting Mercury Leo, is once we realize it, we can act on it very quickly. So it's beautiful, but the challenge is realizing it. So if you have a friend that you can talk things through with, beautiful. If not, just writing things down and then reading them as if they were somebody else, that can be really helpful, because it's in the expressing it ourselves, it can be really tricky, and thinking ourselves and getting caught up in our own mind right now, this is a really tricky time to not see the whole picture. So that's important. And again, once we're aware of it, beautiful, we can work through the challenges here, but we have to be aware of the whole picture if we want things to be smooth in our life. And communication is a huge thing right now, especially since Venus and Mars are in Virgo, because those energies are all about details. Let's get the stuff right. Let's be able to work together. Let's make great things happen. Let's everybody with their own unique skills and perspective fit in together to make something beautiful happen. Great. But if we're not communicating, then other people don't know, what are we supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? What's the goal? Wait, what's my role? What skills do I have? And especially with Venus and Mars and Virgo having a tendency to be very self-deprecating, especially Venus and Virgo, to not give ourselves enough credit. Miscommunications can cause a lot of lot of strife and unnecessary drama, and really just a lamentable situation where good things can be achieved and people can come together and make stuff happen, but without proper communication, people can start doubting themselves in unnecessary ways, doubting other people in unnecessary ways, and be a little finicky and start arguments. And person A is wanting to talk about this, and this other person, it's hard to put this in an analogy, but basically people are going to be talking about different things if communication isn't clear. And though that seems like it's true in general, especially during this time, people can be very blind to, I don't know what this other person is saying, but this is what I'm saying. I'm just going to repeat myself, and I'm just going to say it in different ways instead of like asking questions. That's a key thing too, is asking questions and going, wait, what do you mean? Wait, what's going on? What are you thinking? What's the goal? Stuff like that. That's going to be really important. So communicate, and communicate humbly. That's going to be the best way. Again, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just saying, if you want things to go smoothly, it's best to communicate, and to communicate humbly, and to communicate from the heart, and be real and true to what you're feeling, and honest and authentic, but also to be honoring other people's communications, other people's thoughts, other people's right to have their own perspective.